What's up, guys? I'm getting back into that streaming thing here with the new year, making it my resolution to get a consistent schedule going. If you'd like to stop by at any point and maybe check out when we're live, probably even now actually, or any future streams, links in the description below. Anyways, on to the regular scheduled content. So right off the bat, we have our answer that Modern Warfare's mentioned big update wasn't today. We kind of discussed that a little bit, that was the possibility as of yesterday, but today was relatively standard, all things considered. That also doesn't mean that for the time being, there's not something interesting to jump into and tide you over maybe until later in the week, presumably when that title update rolls around. Today, we're gonna break down everything that really changed with today's scheduled update and what it means for the near future. So that said, as we go along, let me know your thoughts below. If there's anything in particular you're keen on out of what was added today, maybe you're really enjoying, maybe not so much, whatever it is, feel free to let me know. And as well, if you are new to the channel, maybe considering the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare on a daily basis, especially if you're a part of that nearly 70% of viewers who are not subscribed. If you want to stay up to date outside of just recommended videos, the content will still be here all the same, but the option's there. But anyways, let's talk about this update. Like we mentioned, a lot of this is your standardized scheduled adjustments. We didn't get a title update, though interestingly enough, Call of Duty World War II actually did, which I guess we can come back to and discuss a little bit after all is said and done here with Modern Warfare, but we get our normal playlist refreshes and shop refreshes today. So for the playlist today, we end up seeing the standard quick play with all your different modes thrown about in it, realism mosh pit, ground war, gunfight, gunfight 1v1, gun game, and shipment 24/7. So the new additions out of those for this week are gunfight 1v1, gun game, and shipment 24/7. Gunfight 1v1, let's start there. This being the first introduction in the game, and it's pretty interesting. Played a few games, and I won't lie, I find gunfight normally relatively easy, but for whatever reason, I felt like I was playing in a tournament for cash or something like that. The competition was fierce, the trash talk was a little fiercer, borderline Modern Warfare 2 lobby trash talking, but I'd say it was a good time overall. Although, truth be told, I can't really say that I'll be probably playing this a ton myself, simply because I get way too competitive in game modes like this where I have to try to win, where it's all up to me. It drives me a little bit crazy where I can know that if I had one more bullet land or something like that, if I did that one thing differently, I would have won the round, maybe even won the game. But then on top of that, having no teammate to get your trade or to defuse you a little bit when you're getting heated, I might stay away from this 1v1 for the time being. But what I am looking forward to is what this does to open the door for more progression in gunfight LTMs. Not talking necessarily like Snowfight or anything like that, or OSP, but instead really about the number of players per gunfight match. We knew that 1v1s were going to be happening, that was mentioned beforehand, but we also know that 3v3s will be happening. So now to me, it's more so just a matter of when, and perhaps even following directly from what we see with the 1v1s as early as of next week. So that I'm excited for, because I'd primarily play in a 3-man party, usually with fellow YouTubers Immortal, Lazy, and Ink Slasher, but it normally breaks down that one of us is busy, so we kind of almost always have 3, so to be able to run with basically my entire squad, I'm stoked for that one and definitely ready. So if you want to flip that switch, Infinity Ward, I'm good whenever you are. But after that, we saw the addition of Shipment 24/7, or rather reintroduction, re-addition of it, because we've seen it a few times as a featured map and a mode in Shipment 24/7. Plus, we also saw that Shoot the Ship was a thing recently where it was a 50-50 pool on what map you'd end up getting. But if you want some crazy action, high intensity, spawn traps, and even more, well, Shipment 24/7 is back now for you to experience that. Not gonna lie, this is fantastic for challenges. I'm sure that's kind of obvious if you've played it already, but I'm not sure if I'll feature the gameplay in the video or not. But the first game on, whenever I played this and jumped in, I literally got 7 challenges for camos on my MP7 done in about a half a domination game where I joined late. So if you're a grinder, want some high kills or whatever, jump in and take advantage of this, because like we know, it's likely to only last until next Tuesday before inevitably being removed once again. One thing to note though is that spawns definitely were not adjusted since the last outing of Shipment 24/7, though to be fair, I think the spawn logic would also require a title update, which we haven't seen in 3 weeks, and we had again Shipment 24/7 the last time it was introduced as well, so it would be by extension the same spawn system as the last time it was in there. So if you go in solo and the other team has a party of some kind, get ready, because I guess it could get ugly, but at the same time, who knows, maybe you rack up your highest number of kills that you've had up until that point. I guess it really all just comes down to the luck of matchmaking. But then after that, we also saw the addition of Gun Game as a featured playlist. Once again, another addition that we've seen beforehand, but we saw this one a while ago as well. It's back, so you can now run the gauntlet of 18 weapons, or rather 17, and a throwing knife. There's not really all that much to say about this, other than I hope that you get good map luck, because some of the maps definitely aren't the greatest for Gun Game. I think it's one of those things where it can feel like it's impossible to get back into the action if you end up starting a game that has 1 or 2 high traffic areas. you die once or twice at the beginning, then everybody is suddenly 5 weapons ahead of you. At that point, it becomes really tough in an uphill battle to try and get back into it, and you may be hard-pressed to pull something together of a streak. So hopefully that stuff doesn't happen to you, but anyways, you can jump into that with this week as well. Now, that does it for today's playable changes in-game, but we also saw that there was an adjustment to the shop and the items that were added in there as well. Changing today, we're at 2 different featured bundles visible to everyone. The rest of the items in your operators, blueprints, in your For You section, that could be something that's entirely different depending on if you've bought other items comparative to other members in the community, and especially the For You, because that's completely randomized and not going to be the same for everybody. But the 2 that are featured across the board are today the Urban Avenger bundle for 2,400 COD points, which gives you the Junk Pile Operator skin, the Patchwork FAMAS, the Hole Punch Magnum, the Box Cutter Knife, the Hidden Golem Calling Card, the Scrap Dragon Emblem, the Trash Panda sticker, the Weren't Made Operator Quip, the Laid to Rest finishing move, and 1 tier skip. Now, outside of there now being an operator that accurately depicts me as trash, I'm not too into this stuff, though perhaps you may be. I don't think that I've seen a bundle in the shop thus far through the entirety of Modern Warfare, maybe save for Nikto, that for $20 I felt was worthwhile. But again, as always, that's entirely up to you. It's your hard-earned money. I'm certainly not going to tell you how to spend it. The second bundle that we saw introduced was the Wolf Pack bundle, which is a bit cheaper, coming in at 1,600 COD points, which gives you the Wolf's Bite PP Bison, the Alpha HDR, the War Dog Emblem, Successful Hunt Calling Card, and 1 tier skip. Now, this is something that's a little bit cheaper and a little bit more focused on weaponry, so it caught my eye more than the last, but again, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure if I'll be picking this one up either. What I do like is the continuation of that wolf design. I think that's really cool. We previously saw that on the Alpha Dog M13, but the only downside is the cool subtleties of, say, the trigger being the tooth on the M13 Wolf. That doesn't carry over in a lot of the cases with these 2 newer ones. But anyways, those are the introductions here in the shop this week, and round out the changes for what's up with Modern Warfare's scheduled update as of today. But that said, that's the scheduled update. Right now, we still do know that the dubbed big update is looming on the horizon. We just don't know exactly when. Of course, we'll keep you posted here on the channel, but as we've mentioned before, I'm personally hoping for some new maps, some content otherwise, and since we're now in that longest streak of the non-updates that we've seen since the game launched, I think it kind of makes sense that what this update may bring is not only a bunch of changes for a lot of issues persisting within Modern Warfare right now, but also some content to come along with that one. Joe Seacott said that it was going to be coming this week as of, I believe, Sunday, and so that could have meant today, but at the same time, the wording that he gave kind of seemed like it was incomplete. It wasn't going to be finished in time for today, which then, of course, leads us to later on in the week, yet anytime. There is no definitive ETA. But that said, I wouldn't be comfortable in, say, writing off the entire week as nothing really happening. So for that sense, definitely keep an eye open, but we'll have to wait and see for sure. Though truthfully, I definitely would like a little bit more clarity on this kind of stuff. I feel like it's been kind of mum's the word as of recently, outside of trying to decipher tweets and then Joel Emsley talking openly the last few days on Reddit. But outside of that, we really haven't seen any communication. And I get that it's the holidays, but we have a ton of question marks still for the rest of Season 1. Like we've talked about before, all the content really that's been debuted from the air quote roadmap at the very beginning of the season, that's kind of been exhausted, but we still have 4 weeks or so left to go now at this point, so I definitely would like to see at least a little bit of a conversation going on between studio and community, especially because Infinity Ward ended up saying they could do better with that communication. That said, I don't want to dive too deep into that entire topic just yet, but before we round it out, I did actually want to come back to that World War II thing. If you guys ended up checking Call of Duty World War II, kind of a random thing here if you would have been, but it actually had an update today that was 2 gigabytes in size, despite even though the fact a couple of months back, Sledgehammer put out a statement saying that they would have their last title update as of that point, in which it wasn't going to really offer too much content. So this kind of came as a massive surprise to everyone, and as to why, we didn't really have any idea until shortly thereafter, until Sledgehammer ended up saying that it was nothing user-facing, and in fact, it's an update to be in compliance with state law. Boring, right? Now, there's no specification on what state law that actually is. Of course, you could probably end up throwing out a number of different ideas, whether that be something for just security fixes or user data, we don't exactly know, but it's not something that we will actually see as a player base if we jump on, or even if we dig through the game files. So in that sense, it's a pretty hefty update for really seemingly nothing. But that said, it's something that actually happened today, so you may have gotten that notification if you have auto downloads on or something, but that was something changed out today as well. But all in all, that's everything that changed here in the Call of Duty sphere today. So that said, drop your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Is there anything in particular you guys are looking forward to jumping on into? Maybe you didn't necessarily like all that much, whatever it may be. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, still expecting that bigger update here later in the week. So I'm not writing it off as this is going to be the only thing that we have here in the next couple of days. Potentially some new maps, some new game modes, whatever it may be that could come along with it, plus also a bunch of bug fixes and a bunch of other things along with that. But until then, this is what we got. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We get you covered here on the channel. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected from outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But let's head out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.